Hello and welcome, friends, to the People's League stream. Tonight, a very exciting Silver Bracket final where the 8th will be taking on the 11th. My name is Caparzo, and today I'm joined by Awake of the 7th Legion and Hump of Merc. Well, boys, here we are again. Our first playoff bracket back of Season 3, and it's a great one. 8th obviously taking over this season for a team that dropped out and still finding their way to the finals, and 11th managing to make their way into the Silver playoff and get to the finals despite the initial seeding. What do you guys think heading into this match?
I'm pretty excited. I mean, I haven't personally played against the 11th myself, but scrimming against the 8th a bunch. They're a solid crew, and they've really grown over this past season, and I think they're going to be a tough fight for the 11th. I'm excited to see how both these teams play out.
Yeah, I'll echo what Awake said here. Some TPL veterans here from the 11th, 3 seasons they've participated in. So good to see them get a match up and here in a final playing for something. And the redemption arc of the 8th that we keep seeing around these boys are real up and coming. So it's a really good evenly matched fight on a good map, it seems, although it's night. We'll caveat with it's night time.
Yeah, for sure. But Samurai Demonic can't go wrong with that. I'll just intro the streamers a little bit here. We have Jack Goff from the 8th, who will be playing infantry. We have Bear for the 8th, who will be in the armor. Crispy of the Lads Let Loose will be playing for the 11th as infantry, and then we have War Pig with the 11th also playing infantry. So lots of action going on all around the map, and hope to bring all of you the exciting moments throughout.
Oh my god, whoever's driving.
Oh shit, this is full.
A little interesting start here by Jack with the truck. Maybe a new route we haven't seen yet.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
Damn, I can drive, bro.
Yeah, so what is the midpoint? Dugout?
Looks like we got dugout on the map edge west.
We went the wrong road.
And we have...
Nicely balanced that.
And the 11th will be playing as the
You're good.
allies, it appears, and the 8th will be playing the Axis.
You're good. I don't really care. I don't think
It's
they're
really
gonna
going to be
use
interesting what people, or what both these teams do with the border, because I think that's going to be pretty important, especially, and also with that Eastern Hill side. So I'm kind of excited to see how both these teams play to start.
Yeah, in terms of the Germans, that little housing complex there in Charlie 6 is always key to getting and holding in terms of the dugout itself.
Okay.
So that's good to see. Looking at some information there across a couple of seasons, I think SMDM comes in kind of unbalanced towards the Germans in terms of percentage win rate. 70% of the time on console, the Germans will come out with a win on this one. So hopefully we don't see it as straight cut for this map. But again, the dugout's a really nice balanced point and position on the map, and we all know how it goes in terms of mid-cap. These first 10 minutes are the most crucial in the match, so let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. And 11th looks to be taking the lead on the mid-cap here to start. 8th still pushing in here with Jack. Let's maybe swap over to... actually, it looks like everyone else is a little bit further away. War Pig is clearing the back line, just trying to establish some garrisons.
You want a repair station on this
Crispy's
blue
actually
line?
in a recon tank, probably doing a little flank to start. But we'll just stick here with Jack, who's the closest to the point for the 8th.
Doug,
Not seeing any,
don't drop.
I'm seeing, in fact I take that back actually, how many tanks am I seeing here on the map? I'm looking at recons out, mediums out, light tanks out, so nothing out of the ordinary here from the start, no additional lights spawned in or anything like that, but decent little network getting set up already.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure
and I
out.
just want to correct what I said earlier.
build this repair station, right?
Crispy is actually playing recon here for the 11th, so him in the recon tank, he looks like just getting hitching a little ride back to the artillery. Hope to suppress that early. But we're now a little over 3/4 cap, or a little over half cap rather, with 11th leading the charge.
Alright, my OP is going down, boys.
Yeah, they
Start
seem to
pushing
have
hard cap.
decent map control for the time being.
Could swap over to Bear, who's in the,
That was
looks
definitely
like
a tank
it'll be
round.
the P2 here. Backing up his P4 on the point as they flip cap pressure back to their favor.
makes sense why fucking Girth is blasting it. Hey, Loop's taking rounds. Yeah,
Looks like it's going to be one of those extended midpoint caps here, boys, where it's flipping back and forth.
Oh, I'll be excited for a 2-2 tie.
That'd be something else.
That's good.
A league first.
I'm
The
follow Girth's
P2 and the P4 playing nice and close together here, keeping nice and tight in this this sector. Staying in cap weight, soft cap weight, albeit, but oh, something just went down there potentially.
I just got a something. I don't know what the fuck it was, but
possibly a truck. I didn't get a glimpse of it there.
Something fucked up.
Yeah, with those two tanks working together, they can do a lot more on top of their infantry support and help those guys get in. I think you're seeing a lot of 8's cap progress here, due in large part to those guys getting in there and helping them out.
I think my cat just took a shit and it stinks.
I was thinking earlier, a league first, if we went 90 minutes with no mid cap, would be impressive. Because Hump, you were saying earlier, we've had, what were you saying, 83 matches this league season?
Yeah, so tonight's
yeah,
match will be the 85th game of TPL Season 3, which is mighty impressive. That's, what, 20 teams duking it out for over, what, 20 weeks? So, a real testament to the league itself and the officials that have kind of been running it this season. It's a lot of stuff to deal with and match negotiations and all that. So, the end of it now, but
they just try to hit us.
It's a lot of games, a lot of data.
Versus out.
Absolutely. I think in off season it comes at a good time with both leagues polishing up here in the next couple weeks.
Just got a little peek there of the 8's map for the opening. You're not seeing anything out of the ordinary there in terms of
that's a tank
tanks or additional
is that you in that tank?
light tanks spawned in here, so pretty standard start from them. But they have a lot of pressure, a lot of OPs up. They've got
Did you see the
6 or 7 OPs up within 100 meters of the SP here, so looking pretty favourable for Axis.
We can swap back over to Jack real quick, who is, playing infantry close to the point, set up some mines here, and now he's just ready to finish off the cap. Looks like he might be playing engineer, just getting some early defenses down.
And 11th are set up well there for the counter. You know, they got a real good wide width there of the map for. They kind of guessed that was going to be unfavourable for them by the looks of it. So they're going to have a real good chance here at taking this back for how they're set up.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to who holds the Garden's power corner, I think. I mean, that's since they opened it up, it's been a lot more fluid in that area, so it's been kind of interesting to see that played. I don't really think any other team has played that Gardens area, to my knowledge, recently, but it's going to be interesting to see how that fight over that little Gardens area plays out throughout the course of the rest of this match.
What corner of the map there is that awake? What kind of grid square?
I think that's the E4, E5 corner, like with with D5, that Gardens area that everyone places Gary's at.
Oh yeah, sorry. On the Axis side, yeah, in the south. Yeah, the strong gardens.
Yeah, so it's gonna be kind of interesting to see what the fight looks like. 11th don't have a Gary there, which is interesting.
Mid-cap going in favour of the Axis. As we kind of discussed before the match here, the games can be decided in the first 10 minutes, can't they? In terms of who caps mid first, in what way the game's going to go.
I think a lot of their tanks.
They got a heavy rolling up that left side here. The Americans.
Did you hear anything come across command chat or white chat or that? Because I either killed a steward or a fucking truck.
You're able to keep your Lux up until this point of the mid cap. You're doing pretty solid with it. At this point, it can be used to maybe just YOLO itself at one of their red line Garys.
Yeah, they get set these lights on top of each other. Not like on top.
Maybe we could just swap over here. Look at some what's going on the 11th side of things. We have Warpig here, who's on the 11th defense right now. He was telling me earlier he's one of the people that is in charge of their defense, so we can expect to see him near Paddlefish right now, and looks to be just playing these very, very foggy streets, looking for any place that the 8th is going to push in.
In terms of you know, adjusting for night maps and that, you guys putting the brightness up for this one, or are you just keeping it down? I hear some conflicting opinions on this, whether the brightness increase will maybe be more of a hindrance with the additional fog. What do you guys think there?
Personally, I turn it up just since I record and stream. Like, I purposely put it up just for viewing pleasure, I guess. I really don't see a difference in my play if I turn it up or not, in my opinion, but I mean, I dislike night maps in general unless I'm playing engineer and just place mines everywhere, because no one really looks down because they can't even see anyways.
Shot. Over here.
Yeah, I'd say I'm kind of on the same boat, Awake. I you know, obviously I'm recording as well, so that's the thing that I could say that isn't, I'm just turning it up because I want to see better, but I'm also turning up because I want to see better, and when it comes to these foggy bits, it definitely reduces how much it helps. So maybe it's not 200, maybe it's like 180, but I'm certainly making it more. We played a comp match on Remagen this year, actually, which was as fun as you could imagine, and it was at nighttime as well, so the amount of fog and stutter on that was enough to kind of put me off of even 200% brightness. Even post-production in my editing software, it was not enough to make that bright enough to be playable.
I'm glad I missed that match.
That's interesting. I hear that. So I've heard different opinions that by turning the brightness down on the night maps will help with the contrast, but I don't see it personally. I'm a crank that
check your maps.
Guy up to 200%. Burn my renters out.
Yeah, we're here now with Happy, or I'm sorry, with Crispy, who's on the very, very close with the recon class and setting up some offensive flares for his team. Like you said, the 8th or the 11th is in a really good spot to get a recap here. So let's see if they're able to get anything going here.
Yeah, nice.
Initially, I thought the 8th were going slightly more compact in terms of the way the garrisons lay out there, but they've kind of shuffled some things over and they're going for a nice wide map control, which should butt heads here with the 11th.
There's a Panther on
they're kind of matching each other in width across the map, from a couple of snips I've caught from the other streamers there.
Crispy is in a fight over here, but we actually have Jack, who's on an enemy
Getting the garrison out, yeah,
garrison,
got it out.
just takes it out. It looks like he's on that power corner that you mentioned.
That was probably their main Gary right there.
Actually might be in a fight right now with Crispy, just on the blue-red line.
Yeah, he did. He didn't get to get it up.
We'll hold the road.
Yeah.
And it looks like Bear is working on taking the
Damn,
first heavy
thank you, bro.
out for
I appreciate
the,
that.
8th as well.
It does look like 11th do have decent west control of dugout, but again, they don't have that power corner control. They don't have anything really set up there. They're kind of, there's actually no OPs there, so that's going to be kind of a struggle if they can't. That's kind of like the key to taking dugout, in my opinion, is controlling that if you are the allies.
You mean the map edge?
Well, the 11th are on map edge. They have control on that. They have at least the first sector or the first square. But again, like the gardens, power area, power corner, they just don't have control. There's no OPs. 8th has seized it for the moment.
Just in terms of the kind of the geography of this part of the map between dugout and the cattle sheds. Where's the kind of high ground? Well, there isn't really much elevation change between them 2 points, is there? I know for the one back on dugout, on the northeast side, there's a big giant hill that you can hang down.
Right here where I am. I think there's a
Yeah,
Misremembering that.
Yeah, on the east side, there's like a small little hill between dugout and AA that
They're coming
tanks
from this
usually
little
always
area.
park their tanks on, especially when you have AA as the midpoint. Tanks from either side will be on that hill. But with it being night, it's gonna be kind of interesting to see where the tanks will play now,
Where they're
since
fucking
you're gonna have literally no visibility to either point.
Yeah, Echo 5
Hey, they have a
keypad 1 area
garrison
is
north
that
of our
large
garrison.
trench
Echo
network
5,
with the high ground.
You guys want to
But
go
as
over
you
to
say-
the strat sketch here if we're talking about map
it's
real
like,
quick? We have a little bit of a
go off
wall.
OP.
Let's check
Yeah,
out the strat
let's go
sketch.
for it.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you guys could illustrate a little bit what you're talking about here.
So what I'm talking about the power corner is like the E4 D5 area. That gardens area that's where they recently opened up in the last updates. Not where you have triangle actually, but
That was me.
not there. That area is really key to holding cattle sheds and to an extent also capping dugout, which the 11th have yet to kind of like have under their control for
You're
an
talking
extended
about
period
here,
of time.
correct, Awake?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And where their tanks also park is between A and dugout, kind of by that other trench, just a little southeast of that, unless I'm directly challenged. But that right there is the key to capturing dugout, in my opinion, which is going to be really interesting, like I said, of how each team handles that.
I'm also noticing some lack of a presence here right now by 11th, which is understandable given where they are at cattle sheds. But 8th is being allowed right now to establish a really nice front line on them, all the way from here to about here right now. So breaking that through is going to be difficult without some nice armor play. Which is obviously something that you could come to expect to see in the games like this. But it'll still be interesting to see how it progresses here.
If you transition over to Crispy's POV, he keeps getting
Gary's
a nice
still
glimpse
hot,
of the
Gary's
map
still
up,
hot.
and you can comparatively see against the 8th the depth that 11th are going here for in terms of the garrison placement. They're probably two grid squares back with 8 Garys up in that entire sector there, so they're going for some depth there.
Yeah, it's
while
an interesting...
prioritizing the map edges.
Yeah, it's an interesting philosophy that I'm seeing them going for too, where it's more of like, we'll defend a little bit, but we'll take our opportunity when we have our moment of opportunity comes, rather than trying to kind of make something happen in that flux period after the midpoint is capped. And I think you're seeing them kind of like get into the defense mode, maybe see if 8th overextends themselves, and then hit them with the counter punch.
Roger.
I agree.
He's in the bush.
To an extent. I think if you lose mid-cap, you want to keep the momentum going on the attack while the other team is trying to set up the newly gained ground. The advantage you get from losing mid-cap is you then achieve the momentum going into their sector. 11 seem to have lost that a bit, in total honesty. There's not a lot of attacking pressure on them after 20 minutes now, so keen to see where they'll establish it. They're going to need to focus on some areas and probably get all 3 of them arty guns up.
Yeah, we have Bear now here in what I presume to be a Panther. He is cruising along, kind of moving up to the map, or he's in the strong point rather, moving towards the map edge, I believe. Setting up anywhere right here with the tank is going to be tough with this fog, though. I mean, your visibility is functionally about 55 meters, so you're pretty reliant on those pings.
I'm going to be also really interested to see how each commander uses airheads. With it being a night map and low visibility, you can pretty much easily sneak in an airhead. I can kind of see the 11th using that on the western side of the map towards the border, maybe just get something going, because they are kind of on the back foot with 8th's frontline control.
He's turning.
And we're going to join Jack here, who's looks like he's playing AT, chasing down Stewart.
Any direction.
Oh, my bad.
Just hit its ass. Nice.
Oh, Crispy just got ran over by a Panzer. Unlucky, pal.
Swap back over to our pal in the armor here. looks like he's just kind
Yeah, I
of
won't be able to
sticking
see around this
very
bend.
close to the point.
Give me around this
Eighth
bend
just
right here.
contested cattle for a second, and they're capping.
So maybe we swap over to Warpig here, who's you know, as we said earlier, champion of the defense over here. Seeing contested on the screen.
It was around this area.
Looks like it might just be some soft cap pressure. He seems to be content in his.
I'm just gonna fake
field.
myself, bro. Just hold. I'll run out this way. Oh, he's in the shed. In the shed.
Still 2-1 on the cattle shed, so still they're in good shape.
Left hand side. Left hand side.
11 seem to be trying to form up on this heavy tank on the closed map edge, left side.
We're starting to lose
So
defense,
that's probably
guys.
going to be their
2-1.
best way in. They've also got a bit of
Defense
presence in the
back,
power
please.
corner that you described there, Awake. So once they get a garrison network set up from there, I think we should start seeing them put a bit more pressure on them.
Yeah, pretty cool back.
11th have the guys concentrated in
Look at all
nice
defense coming back.
compact areas though, so
Came from
And
North
Jack
Carolina.
is with Warpig going down. Jack is on cattle sheds, making
What's
some
up?
cap progress here.
11th's 1/4 cap of losing.
11th also, from what I'm able to see, is missing a point garrison. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, they haven't had that up for at least a minute and a half, 2 minutes now.
So tough. People are able to sneak in so easily with this fog.
What the?
We're
Oh
on
my
top
god,
of
that
it
was
right now.
that was.
We can
11th
just swap
might
over
have
to
to width.
Crispy here to just show you kind of what the map looks like right now.
Squeezing it, but if you can.
Good presence around the point, but suspiciously absent on the point, obviously with 8th having taken that out, so a little bit of a scramble to get back here.
yeah, I think not playing to the conditions of the map
They're
at the
in this
minute. I think
courtyard
the
split.
width they're trying to get here from you know, map control is
I got
hindering
one.
them
There's
their ability
another one in the
to
shed somewhere.
kill more people at the point essentially.
Do you think it's a matter of space on the point, or I'm sorry, like room to space the garrisons out? Because we can see here, Jack just spawned and he is in that like lumber yard behind cattle sheds.
Oh, he's behind us.
So
Got a
Eight's
headshot.
presence is right in here.
Good stuff. Good
They
stuff.
just 11th's just lost their heavy
Yeah, I think they're still here.
and dugout.
Yep,
is
yep. I can't see them.
all alone. They do have a recon tank by their arty too. I see them now.
Gotta go
But
by
I think they're gonna have to go full reset since they're just about halfway. Half caps of cattle.
Warpig is still on the point in this wheat field, but seeing 8th infantry stream past him as he spawns, he needs to get some people in his squad here. He's got 4 steps. Try to reset themselves better.
And they have 3 OPs inside of cattle. It's probably gonna be full 6-man squad. That's a lot of cap weight. 11th are gonna have to full reset and give up ground on the front
got
line.
8th
They've got ATs.
getting mined
They've got
on.
ATs.
Cattle
AT is up.
working,
Just take it.
I think I see 4 OPs within 20 meters of the ASP there. This might be irrecoverable for
He must have got a
11th
fucking shot. He shot me.
in terms
Yeah,
of
it's
hard cap pressure.
We'll swap over to Jack here, who's looks like he's doing some swapping
They're,
as well. It's like,
they're,
just like
they're
you said,
sweeping
like-
up these OPs though. They just lost 3
Doorway got him.
simultaneously, but they're close.
What?
Yeah, Jack realizes
it's
he
a
won't be
doorway.
able to
I
get
think
back
it's
in
dead
where
though.
he'd like to be.
Right.
Go back to work.
We'll put out tanks
There's some whoever was able to take out those OPs, really great work by them, staving off a lot of pressure.
I mean, this Lux is doing work on the point. I think I've not neglected to look at the Paul for Deluxe, who is on the strong. He's defensive here, but there is currently looking at the map. There's an 8 tank
He's
on
straight down the middle of the
the
train.
point.
Yeah, what they do is scatter around
Yeah, probably alternating it.
he's been up for too long. That's almost criminal now. That's probably 3 or 4 minutes.
Nice, DG. Northern, like, oh, they do. Okay, good. They don't have the oh shit Gary. They do have it.
The 76
I mean,
for the 11 finally taking out that blue tip.
Looks like 11 kind of, I would say, finally fully recovered from that, but like you have to in a situation like this. There's still an hour left. There's still a lot of time. You really can't go down 4-1 with over an hour to go. That's a lot of. That's a tall ladder to climb if you're the 11th in that situation. But if you're the 8th, you're probably feeling good, saying, okay, we did this. We just gotta obviously still hold up, still apply pressure, still do what we have to do to win this.
And from what I'm seeing here, actually, with if we go back to Jack here, he's in the spawn screen, but we were able to see that he's just trying to change his squad because
hey, we need a
outside of
full
the one
reset.
garrison on
Anubis.
point, it is very
Anubis, please
blank
go back
on the
to your
8th map.
original
They have
squad.
one garrison back on past the neutral line,
Fear,
and one on
you can go
point,
back to
but
your original
outside of
squad.
that, their presence is exclusive to their blue zone, save for the recon squads. So great work by the 11th recovering
A little
there.
confused on what you wanted.
I got supplies, dog.
Huh?
I said I'll bring
Swap
supplies.
it to Bear back in the tank for the 8th.
The 8th have 2 garrisons on the map?
Correct.
Am I seeing that correctly? What
Correct.
happened? What happened? Like, they were almost capped. Like, were they assuming the cap? Because they only have 2 garrisons, one on point and one that's a lawn burn. Other than that, they have nothing other than OPs. That is interesting.
It's entirely possible. I mean, if you're 50% cap, you're sending quite a lot of your guys up there, aren't you? Which leaves you vulnerable. So I'm surprised 11th, apart from being in panic mode because they don't have the audio on, that might have been the time to sneak a couple of guys on the reverse.
Maybe that airhead you're talking about, but that requires a
One
lot
vehicle,
of
one
discipline by a lot of
FAQ,
people
one
to
OP.
make sure you're sending
Very
just the right amount of
significant for us
manpower
right now.
you need, and unfortunately, you don't necessarily know how much manpower you're going to need to stay off the cap when you're 70%. And like you said, Awake, you're not going to really take that chance when the downside is going down 4-1 with an hour left. So still,
Especially
I think
with
a smart play.
Especially with your last point being barn, like that's another diagonal point. Like that's even a longer. It's about the same distance. It's still a tall task if you're holding barn as opposed to holding cattle sheds.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just touching on the points being linear or offset to each other. I mean, if now this is hypothetical, if the 11th would have won mid cap, then it might have been a different story here. You could have condensed your forces into a smaller area to push down in a nice line rather than spread out across diagonally. So I think the 8th are playing this pretty well, prioritising that map edge. You got your back in there on the secure side. Real nice spread of people there actually, just keep catching a couple of glimpses of the map. Real good map control from 8th.
Kind of going off what you said about the points being like linear, like north, south, east, or west, depending on the map. I think we've come to a point in competitive Hell Loose on console that the points and the maps, love the points, matter more than they have in the past. Whether like how it's laid out or what the mid cap is. I mean, you can take our game with the 7th versus HLE as an example. Like obviously we had the west bend point and held it the entire game, part the bus, as a lot of people have said. But it's going to that point where like faction, in my opinion, doesn't mean that much. Rather, what the map points are and what's like the map is given to you. But again, you still have to play to it. It's like not impossible that the 11th can't like obviously cap this, but it's harder because you have to do this diagonal where north of dugout is kind of like what we call like a dead zone where like no cap weight is being assessed, but you still have to have some presence there. You can't just give that up for free.
Yeah, and speaking of map presence, the 8th's able to recover really, really nicely there from 2 garrisons to, I think, max garrisons in a little over 5 minutes there. So reestablishing their defensive presence, getting that network up, and you know, doing a little bit of a reset of their own. You know, I think it was a kind of a mutual reset that I think 8th obviously wins out of that reset, holding the midpoint and all, but I think both teams are kind of happy to see that resolve in the way that it did, where they both needed to back off of it.
Totally agree. The
Swap over to Jack here, who's
precisely
where Awake was saying earlier.
Oh my god, that was dirty, bro.
Did Gary go out?
I'm surprised 11th don't have more presence here.
No, this one's still good. The one that was in that courtyard.
Yeah.
Trying to see what they have. It looks like they do have a garrison there.
Oh, they just got a
Pinging
spawn
red
wave right here in
to
front of my
Jack
body.
here, who goes down.
I think it was an outpost.
Put in some work with
right
that
in front of my
MP40
body.
though. Good weapon choice for where he's at.
Push that. Push Gary Ping.
Yep.
Flip over to Warpig.
Right next to you, Commander.
On the point, 2-1 on the strong point for 11th. Cattle Shed. They do have
So
a garrison.
in terms of if you guys are in this position, let's say 8's position, are you guys happy to hold here, given the difficulty on attacking cattle sheds and spreading yourself the non-linear points, or would you be cautious in holding and be advocating for more attack
I
in
mean,
terms of this layout?
right now, if the game would end, 8th wins. So, like, you obviously have to prioritize being up 3-2. I mean, if you overextend to try to 4-1, 5-0, it could bite you. Like we saw, like 8th had 2 Garys up. Like, if that mid Gary or like the Gary on point went down, like that could have been like red fire alert disastrous for 8th, where they would have to like basically fully reset like everything that they worked for until this point. So I would say playing it safe is better than being more aggressive. But again, you still have to find that balance between the two.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I would just say
garrison on me.
moreover that this is the Silver Bracket final. You know, this is the last game of the season. This is whoever's going to win that bracket is the winner of this game. So
there's people near me.
even more reason to say to yourself, hey, I'm not gonna try to do anything crazy. Let me just try to get out of this game, get through these next 56 minutes, and take home a title. That's pretty good motivation if you're the 8th to just kind of park the bus here. And I've, from experience, Awake, playing with the 7th, we had experiences not with a game that was a playoff game, but against Rofs when we played on Carentan, where you say, there was no need to push the extra point there. If you're holding the point with 30 minutes left, at that point you really got to consider just sitting on it and taking your win. I understand pushing is fun, but at the same time, winning is fun too.
Yeah, I think, well, pushing just the right amount, isn't there? I mean, sending guys straight up the throat into cattle sheds isn't the brightest idea, but I think 8th have got the correct amount of people allocated a couple of 100 meters off the point. They've got real dominance over that red-blue line here. There's lots and lots of blue dots in the north side, fighting between blue and red, which is probably the perfect call given the time in the match, how long's left, and the point that they currently have. So drops the 8th on that.
Hold defense back, hold defense.
Looks like Jack squad and Chris and Warpig squad are a little bit of battle there over
Distract him, just distract him.
That power corner that Awake was pointing to. But we have here Crispy made his way back to artillery at long last, and it's going to take the time to get some munition nodes.
I'm on their nodes now. I'm just dismantling. It's behind Artie.
But
I think it's the right call not killing the guy in Artie to dismantle the nodes. Draining your enemy's resources is so key. Like if 8th can use artillery or
go too far to the left,
like push out tanks, like that will give them advantage in the long run. And it's kind of up to 8th too to like how fast they get the back up. There's been times where like I've seen teams like I would not say like not wanting to build nodes, but they're very like reluctant, just because like they're in a position where like it takes a while to do that, especially like if you're being harassed I think it's a good call.
Caught sight of the defensive bombing run on the 11th part there. Captured.
Can you see that guy?
Let's cut over here really quick to Jack, who's pushing. 8th has that Gary right on that corner that you mentioned again there, awake. So they're obviously aware of the importance
By the way, that's 76
of
now
staying there.
Rennie, go to the.
Let's see what else we got here. A lot of KIA screens right here, folks, and people taking nodes out, which not the most immersive gameplay, but you know, still important, like Awake said.
Yeah, the 11th have no northern presence, apart from 2 OPs on the dugout.
No, it's moved in the cattle sheds more now. Last night.
Hi, boys.
There's still time for them to pull the resources up. I think they're going to need to get a good bit of coordination here together, which I believe they can do. This a team that's been together for 3 seasons.
Perfect.
They've
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's this called? Just flipped the tank.
Yeah.
Bear just flipped
You
his
saved
tank.
it. You saved it, bro. No way.
I was
just got that.
watching it on
Bro,
the
I
side
just got
there.
that.
I couldn't quite tell what was happening because he was doing.
Bro, I just surfed a fucking
you know,
tank.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater move. So
I just surfed a tank.
from the turret gunner's perspective, that's an interesting one, but able to recover
I hope
there.
they caught that.
I haven't played tank in a competitive game, just in pubs.
Yeah, but your view was not my view.
That
I
seems
was
like
on
the
top of
worst
the
feeling
tank.
when
I know
a
that.
tank flips, because it's like the worst. That just seems awful. It's like the game screws you over, unless you drive into a ditch.
I mean, fortunately, it's a Panzer IV. It wouldn't be too devastating to lose that, but yep, it's devastating if you're responsible for putting out 600 fuel out of action.
I've been in Jack's spot right here before too, where you're right
here
in front of a 76 and you gotta just do something.
I'm on the Gary.
But
Defense,
you know
Sad
that
that
you're
you
going to yeah. Go for
I mean-
tracks there, I think.
Yeah, we'll get that back
I mean, that's what all AT players, in my opinion, should do all the time. Just shoot both rockets every way. I mean, you never know what you can get. You can sometimes get an OP. Sometimes you can get the best.
Outside,
Your boys can
outside.
satchel.
Yeah, work together. Get the tracks out of the first game.
Legend that he is able to take out a full set of nodes right away and get the guy off Artie. So trades getting someone off Artie immediately for taking out nodes for a while. So and then he actually spots another set that he's going to be going for. We'll swap over
Good shit,
to
Moko.
Jack again, who's put on quite the offense here for the 8th, just keeping him honest, but I'm also seeing the midpoint starting to flash here a little bit, contested by the 11th.
I think they're both moving.
This is gonna be a terrible garrison.
8th have a abundance of ammunition at the moment, currently plus 1,000, with 600 manpower as well. Down a set of nodes though, so our boy Crispy's putting in work on that side, which should hopefully deplete them if they're not quick enough to get them up.
You should just see how many arty guns 8th has with that many munitions up, unless they're just not getting
I
things.
think it's one. I think it's one at the minute.
I mean, we're not in the one gun march yet, ever. You didn't agree to that yet?
They missed everybody.
Very
Oh, 8th just lost the heavy too.
yeah, 8th lot loses the heavy on the point.
It's 2 to
Still
2
has
on defense. 2 to
fantastic
2 on
map
defense.
control. So
2 to 2.
a couple spawn waves back and a soft reset, I think, is
Looks like they're
really
straight down that front door again. Oh, in the back.
that pressure
Viper,
move,
OP.
but still something
Marco,
that they
you
need
go
to be
OP.
concerned about.
Viper, hold that side.
Cut here real quick to Jack, who's
Let me hit it. Rocket it if you can.
hopefully doesn't lose him in the fog. Oh god.
I wouldn't be so pleasant to my teammates. I'd have wasted that medium on
Yeah.
sight with that Panzer Shrek.
Yeah, I take the 10
Hit it
seconds
anyway.
every time for that situation. Oh no.
Get that little soft skin
Not on
boy.
this one.
Get him down.
Little buffering issues, sorry gentlemen. Sorry guys.
hoping to catch a peak of 11th resource kind of level, but no, really reluctant to bring up the scoreboards, these guys.
Well, it doesn't look like
Hey,
Jack
look.
was able to get the that tank that
Yeah,
light,
moving.
but he's able to.
Disappeared in the mist.
Yeah.
Crispy is doing
Nice, right.
damage on these nodes. He's not been picked up at all in the last 5 minutes.
I wonder if 11th or 8th noticed that too. I mean, they do have 1,000 munitions, which is a lot, especially with
Looks like
just over halfway
on
to
my
go.
ping post.
I mean, it's gonna be kind of interesting to see if they get those back up
Oh,
in time.
steady, steady! Get away
'cause
from the kettle shits.
if they have to use a reinforce, if 11th get more pressure, or if the snow accidentally
Squid nuts.
uses
Oh no, this side, you're good.
what's it called? I can't think of it right now. Man, encouraged. If he actually uses that, that's kind of wasted.
lucky.
It's just a waste of manpower. He finally goes down.
Did a lot of damage.
Right, defensive squad, we're moving up to the red line.
Still have one pig here.
I'll stay back. I'll stay back. Go and
Man
hold that
in
red
the
line.
cattle shed.
I
Making
actually
sure that
take
no
one
one's
more
able
guy.
to really increase their cap pressure. The 11th did make some cap pressure there, but
Yep.
as we said earlier,
The other two just
still
move up
great-
to that red
some
line.
Great map control to quickly get that over with.
Yep, just so you go defend mark there.
You know if 11th are just diving a medium in right now, or what? There's just a medium on dugout for the 11th. Oh, 11th have an
I kind
airhead.
of want my OT. I
I
want my
see
OP
that
back
as
there.
well. Looks like it's going to be onto the southeast of the point.
And
I'm
I
not-
think I've got a guy here.
Oh, sorry. 8th do notice that their nodes went down, and actually,
Yeah, I can
Bear is
run.
actually rebuilding them
Get
right
him.
now
if we look
Guy here,
over
guy here.
as a tank crew.
Some, apologies. Crispy is waiting for the airhead spawn, which is 100% clear. So
I have recon
I think
flares
he's
over
shouting
there,
in
please?
command chat. Everyone
That's
go
close
on
to
the
you, Ken.
airhead.
Yeah, copy spawning on airhead now. I'll get
It's
them up.
clear. Supplies are waiting for them. They have
Flares
recon
are gonna
and
be able to
a-
go out. Yeah, right away.
they have a recon
flares.
and a medium on dugout too, just kind of just roaming about, which is
Yeah.
kind of wild to say the least.
On the flip side of the 8th, there's one squad, F squad in the southeast that could maybe pick this up, but there isn't a lot of manpower here. I think they're maybe going to get a fright with this one.
Eighth noticing that their garrison is hot to the southeast, but not concerned so much that I see Jack
Flares
spawning
up, check
there.
your-
So
check
this
your
is a
maps,
great
flares up.
opportunity for the 11th here. That garrison is now
Yeah.
clear. 100 meters in all directions to the
Yes.
southeast is clear.
And they
Delta
just
6
started-
is absolutely scant of any 8th player, so if depending on the numbers that the 11th have got in on this could be one of them moments.
Copy.
Really got to make something happen here. Make sure to get these garrisons down.
Get these OPs down, boys. Come on, split the squads up.
Yeah, definitely a moment where you
And
take
then
all
you're going to
available
build that, send your boys
manpower and
forward.
move them to the
Send your
offensive
boys down that
OPs.
main road now.
Yeah,
We're
I think
capping, we're
11th are
capping.
rolling on this one because they've just caught sight of War Pigs' POV on SP. Looks like he's sticking there.
Defensive boys,
There's
you
not
get
a lot of
send
people
them
there
forward.
now. They're down to bare bones. I think they're rolling for this one.
Cap pressure started. I like what Chris is doing here, where he's kind of staying off the point, looking for where the reinforcements are coming from. He's got that M1 carbine, which is pretty much in its element here with this fog. So
Find their garrison on the point.
see what he gets up to.
Even if the 11th don't capture dugout here, I think they're gonna relieve a lot of pressure from their defense
Yeah,
in the
and-
front line.
And what I'm seeing here
Doof
for the
doof on
eighth
ping, doof
map
doof
is
on
that
Papa
they've
ping.
lost the garrison on the point, as well as the power corner garrison, as you said. So they're down to just the one garrison to the northwest of the point, opposite where the 11th are absolutely streaming in from.
Done, sorry, I was in boy.
And it looks like 11th are also trying to drop supplies there too. If they get that up, they're 8th are in a rough spot.
Yeah,
They are
so
defending for
50% cap here. 60 seconds left to go. With a green garrison in the red zone, they can get more out here. I would be sending 80% of my guys on that right now at 50% cap.
Yeah, the what we're seeing here too is with the next point being just south of Dugout, and that airhead being where it was dropped and the garrison built where it was, you're in a bad situation if you lose this as the 8th right now.
Can move up that map quickly. And just to touch on the, I think I almost picked up the wrong point there. I was going to mention
Yeah, they've been.
the corner, but I don't think corner's the next point, is it? On the map there?
It's Hugo's is for.
It's Hugo's, okay, so it's offset again from that point.
Yeah, the 11's just lost their gardens, Gary. The power
Right.
corner, Gary.
Loads and loads of OPs. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 OPs in that southeast corner. 100 meters away, but
Yeah, 3-2 on
Lots
front
and
point,
lots of
just
bodies.
to illustrate
If you're
what,
trying to do a run, can you get a
what
garrison
Humphrey's
removed?
talking about here. Just absolutely loaded to the southeast over there. It's still 3-2 on point for
Thank
the
you.
8th.
Just looking at Crispy's POV of the map right now, like there is.
Probably up here.
Hey, I need
It's
somebody
just
to
interesting to
spawn.
see. Yeah, that Gary just went red. Like it's like they don't have anything to the east or the north of Dugout. Everything is coming from the south, and like they're just losing OP after OP. So like they honestly should just go for a reset for their own front line. Because I don't think, like, yeah, they're capping, but that's not gonna be sustained unless 8th has like nothing there.
Yeah, and 8th.
with
Mates, let me know if they get their
Sorry,
nodes back
how
up.
go ahead, Cal. No, I was just going to say with 6 OPs though, they get the opportunity to get. I'm going to expose my maths here. 6, 12, 18, 24 guys. 36 men up on that point. That's a lot of cap pressure. That's 3 chevrons, isn't it?
Anywhere.
Could swap here to Bear really quick, who's one of the only players alive right now. POV from he's getting shot at in the. He still might be in that P4.
I need to know where he's at, bro.
The longer this switch goes on though, the more exposed 11th are going to become. So it really is a question of how quickly can you execute that move, and then, you know, if it betters out, making the call to come back and try something else.
It's
Yeah, I think
exactly
everybody
the
gets
opposite
repairs.
situation that we saw earlier in the match.
Max- I think Max got
But
repairs.
this time, obviously, 8th
Can y'all
has
hear
a
me?
lot more pressure with
Okay.
holding the midpoint.
I
So,
just don't-
you know, they have to be a
make
little
sure
bit maybe more
it's not-
disciplined than the 11th were, and
We need a rep,
you know, it's
bro.
kind of paying off here, but their attack is suffering at the cost of it, which 11th is very happy about, considering that they have most of their team on offense right now.
Yeah, and a team such as the 8th, particularly in the start of the season or the earlier group stages, 8th always
Right here.
showed real good defensive
ping.
ability in the game. I think pretty much all of their games went 90 minutes in the first 5, or in the first 3 games that they played in the group stages. So they're a well-drilled team in this defense, so this is kind of playing into their hands. I think only the latter stages of the season you started to see the 8th win games 5-0 with a bit
Gun switch,
more
we're good.
offense-minded going on there. So, you know, 3-2 suits them. Is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, with the 8th in particular, you know, being a newer North American team, and in general North America not having a ton of teams, I've had the opportunity to play them on a couple occasions, as has Awake, and seeing how far that they've come from one of the first matches I could remember playing them to obviously here competing in the TPL Silver Finals. It's really impressive to see a team who's brand new in Season 3 kind of going through all the meta changes
up, check
that
your
every
maps.
other team went through, but instead of over the course of 3 seasons, they did it over the course of 1 season. And their improvement in doing so has just been very impressive, and some really, really talented players over there.
Yeah, I mean we scrim against 8th a lot. I think we used to do bi-weeklies with them. I'm not sure if we still do or not. But like as long as they don't mess up their trucks and get 2 of them stuck and a tank stuck in a trench at the beginning of the game, they're not a pushover in my opinion. Like they're still a solid team. I'm excited to see what they can do in the last 40 minutes or so, and in the future in Season 4.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing now here on stream was kind of that reset to the front line again. That attack fizzled out. They had a good opportunity there, but you know, smart to kind of drop it when it fizzled out naturally rather than pressing the issue and resetting to the front line and kind of trying to catch 8th in that shuffle here.
Yeah, but I've got heavy infantry on me.
11th calls a bombing run onto the point.
I think 11's problem with their attack to mid, which they're now contesting again, is they had no north presence. Like they had 0 people attacking from the red blue line. Everybody was in the cap sector, and with that there was spawns that 8th could easily just regroup to and then push from there, and then obviously also push from their longer areas.
Look at Crispy here,
So,
2 outposts.
Any chance of a flare?
I mean, it
sorry, I
appears
was
they're
out
doing
split
most
and
of
I'm
this
dead.
with soft cap now, and as you're right, you would have they've kind of set up well in the north. 8th have lost that north side, but they're pushing from that power position in the gardens. Not using the map edge as much as they were at the start, but they're flooding that point from the northeast side now.
God damn, I'm having a horrible time.
I mean, I personally have never played this map at night, so I assume the entire border edge of the map is just complete whiteness of just fog. So it's probably not fun to play as, but I feel like they still have to have some presence there from 8th and 11th, which I think 11th seems to do.
Did you guys get that guy? Jesus. Okay. There's still
Yeah,
visual.
you're going to struggle to push a tank
From the OP,
down
you
that
go to their building,
northeast
you go-
section through the hedgerows. So if you want to do a heavy push, you're going to want to favour that map edge there, where you got protection from the out of bounds zone on the left as you're looking north to south. But SMDM, as you just touched on, not playing night time. Obviously, it was brought in the later updates, the night version of this. But SMDM is probably the most popular map played this season in TPL 3. I mean, just looking here, it's been played 12 times in total this season. 11 times day and 1 time night. So there's been maybe not enough experience for you, Awake, but there's been a couple of teams who have got SMDM in the rotation a few times. Not me, I must add.
Personally,
I've not
I
had
think,
much luck on it.
I think we played 5ID on it, but we had the complete opposite side of the map. So we were all on the eastern side. So obviously I've played this map a bunch in pubs, but not in a competitive setting. So kind of interesting to see how it's played out in a competitive setting.
I'd love to play artillery battery more often. I feel like that
Come on, Anubis, get the other.
is rare to get because I'm either on the west side or the east side. More often the east side, which is just
shoot the
what
flame.
is that, Jacob's Barn, right? Which is
over here.
just a mess of a point to try to hold, really, for either team.
Phantom.
That's a
Jack,
point
I
where the
need
map
you to
edge is
switch-
very important on the east side.
No. Go
The pizza
AT
slice
with
corner
mines.
is what
Okay.
people
Mine this
call it.
road.
Alrighty.
Swap over to Crispy here, who's in that corner.
Tank keep back, okay?
Lots of fighting here with the M1 carbine, doing some work for Crispy. Little 2-piece.
I've had the honour of fighting over a battery twice actually, now I'm thinking about it. That's a real tough time.
Do you want me to check the HQ for if they've got any names up at all?
Yeah,
I'd
mate.
be worried
Yeah,
about
yeah, mate.
mines
Check
here
if they've got. No, just
if
keep an
you
eye on
feel
them.
Crispy. I've been
Yeah.
seeing
Quickly over
Jack been putting down mines constantly. Crispy with another OP, he's just doing some real work as recon.
In terms of the flow of the match, I definitely think 11th have now got the more control and more sway on what's happening here, which
Yeah, copy. Yeah, copy.
seems to be
Fuck, I thought I
Yeah,
cleared them, mate. My
they're the
fucking-
ones that are taking action and
Got their
forcing
OP and
it
all
to
sorts.
react rather than the other way around, which is what we were seeing earlier in the match.
yeah, didn't look like it was going to fizzle out like that in the first 10-15
they're
minutes,
coming
but
across the
they've
field
reset
over
really
there.
well, really well.
Speaking of mines here, we're seeing Jack just get some mines up.
Copy.
Alright, so we're
Running
holding the
any
main.
armor here.
Yeah, we're
What-
holding the main.
What do you guys
road.
think on this map with the visibility
Keep the
obviously
mines on the
being
road,
what
Jack.
it is here?
Yep.
Do you consider going
Alright.
less tanks?
Go to
Do you
engineer.
take a crew away?
Use that box that's already there, and I want AP mines on either side
Yes
of
and
every
no.
row.
I mean, it's
Like, on
I mean,
Diplomatic.
yeah,
every row on the right side of
I
the
would say yes and no
both
because
sides
I
of the
mean,
road.
heavy tanks like that's a lot of fuel, and like you can't see anything. Like, so I would say maybe even just like at least on the 11th standpoint, just pumping out Stuarts, just spamming Stuart. Like that, I'm just speaking from like a fun standpoint. I love the Stuart, but honestly, the Stuart with 100 rounds of ammo, 50 AP, 50 HE, that can do a lot of damage. And like if you just run around the points, like you can really, as long as you kind of know like where the common Gary spots are, you can really like do a number like very quickly in a Stuart. So I would just say maybe go light tanks for both teams. Maybe have one heavy, obviously, because I feel like you still need that heavy option. But like, if you're gonna stack
Still got
heavies
nice
on the
lines,
night
eh, bro?
map with like low visibility, like it's hard, especially like if
Hello,
you
did
get
they?
Kirk's night, God forbid. Like, but I would say like go more light tanks than no
Fair
tanks.
enough. I don't even notice you.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a play it by ear situation, isn't it? It's to see how much success you're going to get from either side. Yeah.
Both of you guys obviously have commanded in comp games before too, so that's an interesting, take from Commander. I think the Stewart thing would be very fun, and I think it might be effective, like you're saying. 50 AP, 50 AP. That's a lot of work you can do for pretty cheap, all things considered.
Yeah, the only downside to that is you are the American, so you will die very quickly to a Panther Shrek.
Very quickly.
Charlie's good.
Stuart's underrated. I'd be pumping out a few Stuarts. I agree with that. Getting the boys
Quite
zipping
open.
up and down that red-blue, particularly in pizza slice, clearing up the OPs, using the fog to your advantage, booming and zooming.
Like we're talking about here, let's just take a glimpse into Bear's viewpoint here. Like, just what we're talking about. Like, what is he going to do? Unless he has a ping on something and he knows he has line of sight, he can't really do anything until it's too late. This is an infantry playground right now.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't even like push a heavy tank in this kind of
like right here, bro.
situation as far as like how the map is currently. Just from up here, like it's night, you can't see anything. Like you're gonna get ambushed. Like there's no question about it. You will get ambushed in your heavy tank. Like you have to play on point defense, which I think 8th has 2 heavies on point, if I saw that correctly.
I think that they're playing the heavy the only way that you can play the heavy right now. It's just parking it on point, relying on the horde of infantry support that you likely have for most of the time on point, sitting with the rep station and kind of hunkering down and relying on that infantry even more than you kind of already have to. I think the counter to that, though, is artillery. You get artillery on the tank, some smoke, some HE. You take out any rep stations around. You take out any infantry protecting them and spotting for them. And then you get a guy in there with a satchel or a rocket, and you take him out real quick. So
yeah, that's the meta these days, particularly in the night maps. If a team is stacking them heavies in a defensive position, you ain't going to push that exposed. You're going to soften them up with some art to get rid of them rep stations.
And even blinding them with smoke will help out a lot.
Panther on P-ping. Panther on P-ping.
Looks like Crispy is right over here where Bear is in the tank.
Fucking hell.
Crispy spots him out, but goes down. We'll swap back to Bear because I imagine Crispy will be coming
Flares
back.
going on. That was enemy
flares
flare.
on him. But we're seeing the smoke here right now, like what we were talking about.
And the Panther does have 1 rocket in it, I believe.
Yep, he's getting
Did
there right now.
you get good that 76 today? Or was that already dead?
I think that was already dead. See, this is exactly the situation you had to be worried about if you were this tank.
I didn't get a glimpse of the ammo count since he is the gunner.
Double rep.
Like, how much ammo is he realistically using, or has he used already? And like, you could have done that in like a P4 and saved fuel.
This is, that is really, really tough.
I'm dead too, Horvath.
2 crewmen
We're
go
double
down
reffing.
there.
We're good. Just keep
I
tank up.
do believe from catching a glimpse
About
before
20
they have
years.
quite an
We need a
abundance of
fucking-
fuel at the minute, so it's probably not that detrimental
coming.
to 8th losing that Panther.
Don't be afraid to push it slightly
11th with
I'm
the
looking-
red zone
they're going
Gary
back for it.
by artillery battery as well. Just pushing very far from the east.
No, you're getting a supply drop to build another garrison directly onto the attack.
Copy. They've got a garrison 200 meters south where that airhead was before on my marker.
Yep.
8th are down 2 sets of nodes though too.
Still?
With a half hour left, that if they spawn in a heavy or just don't have a lot of munitions, that could really bite them towards the
Yeah, it's only
later
a couple of them. We'll be right.
few moments of this game.
Right. Right, and we see here with Warpig now for the 11th back, you know, playing his defensive job here. A little cap pressure here by the 8th, but quickly negated by Warpig and his squad.
Looks like they are gonna salvage this Panther
Wait.
for Bear here. And they have 3 rep tools on it.
West.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah,
they have
gotcha.
no munitions, no manpower, and 1 fuel
We
node.
don't have anyone over there at the moment.
Gotta be a little bit more disciplined than now when you
Oh, but he's over there, but-
gone to get him back up.
Oh, right there. Plus.
Let the viewers know we have 39 AP and
Yeah, copy.
37 HE. So plenty of ammo. Not doing a lot of shooting there. Probably doing more.
And
of
nearly
Yeah,
died
well,
too.
being a presence.
Just spam Pumas.
Desperate for a
Not enough
little
rockets at
scoreboard
all.
peak here of 11th, but they're really reluctant to bring the scoreboard up. I'm just trying to see their squad compositions. I mean, 8th are running 3-mans across the board.
We could take a glimpse here too with with Crispy dead here. We'll take a look when he's in the death screen. In the meanwhile, we'll go back over to Jack, who's
Son of a bitch.
also
They're back
dead
in that
as he
village
runs
again.
across the field. So
Gonna piss.
lots of death going on here,
Pushing
folks.
that.
Let's see here what you were talking about. 2 garrisons as they approach the dugout from the east. A very aggressive one as well, just to the east of the point. But, like you were saying earlier, Wake, you'd like to see them open up that power corner up a little bit more. Oh goodness, that garrison's clear.
Oh my gosh.
Gary's free.
If they get a good
There's
wave
no
off
way.
of that,
There's no way, right, Awake? Right, Hump?
if
There's no way.
2 people spawn, I'm gonna be
It's
kind of
gonna
disappointed.
Straight
Of
with it.
course it's gonna lock out.
Coming to your outpost.
Squiddy,
no
did you
way.
get that Gary down that you marked? That tank is still up as well, Eugene.
They're
Oh, they're gonna get a
locked in.
spawn. They did lose their heavy at dugout though.
The 11th or
Yeah, the 11th lost the heavy. They lost their heavy. Their heavies, 11th just seemed like they're playing their heavies a little too aggressive. Like he had no infantry support. He was like right in front of the hard cap.
it's another opportunity here for the 11th though. Let's see if their defense could hold on.
But Gary is locked now, but they did get a wave off.
Crispy needs some explosive ammo over here, but it's hard to come by as the Americans, of
Quest
course.
dynamic to Alpha.
I got him.
Strafe that blue zone, mate. Didn't know, but again.
Just want to point out too that whenever you see these Aussie guys playing so well like this, they're also doing this on nearly probably 300 ping. With
Gary's
the
still up,
11th
we're
being a
protecting it if he
primarily
spawn in, spawn on
Oceanic
that
clan,
Gary
so big props to those
D6.
guys. I know it's not easy doing it in reverse, so putting in work with this M1.
We need Hawaiian servers for
Yeah.
to compensate.
Yeah.
Smokes out,
Where does
smokes
that
out.
rank on T17's to-do list to you, Wake? Where does Hawaii servers rank?
I mean, probably towards the bottom barrel of the game. I mean, they released Hair DLC, so I don't know
Okay,
what they're
yeah.
cooking up next.
Yeah, the priorities are questionable at this point. So maybe maybe Hawaii's next.
Quickly now, boys.
Yeah, her DLC in a UI menu upgrade for that worked perfectly.
Yeah, there's never been an issue with this UI.
Let's go.
I
I'll protect
completely
Gary.
muted all the new sounds that they made. I have no idea if they changed it or not. So
Nope,
like,
still there.
what that does though, if you are like a truck driver and you have your map up, you know like how you get the sound when the wall goes down, like do or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that doesn't play. So like sometimes I'm just there, just like not moving the truck for like 10 seconds after the wall goes down, and I'm just getting yelled at. It's just.
And that Gary's still up, by the way, boys. And that pressure from the southeast is back on for the 11th. And as I say so, the garrison goes plump.
What for me, with 23 minutes to go and that garrison up with plenty of OPs there, I'm getting my 3 artillery guns up. I'm pounding that point with smoke and HE, and I am flooding that. I'm keeping 4 guys on defensive OPs, and I am absolutely going for this now.
Yeah, I might even take a solo squad leader too and put him on that northwest garrison that they have from the blue line and just open up a new front there, so as 8th gets sucked down to the southeast, you can rotate those guys into the OPs from the northwest and hit them in the back.
Can one of you guys go to
I think
items
that's
swap?
what they're gonna do. I mean, they are starting to flag the point now, but like this is like the same situation as like that airhead. They like everyone's like in the hard capped, or not in the hard cap, but in the sector to the south.
Thank you.
They really still have no front door presence.
Yeah, none at all. I've got a glimpse here from 30 seconds ago of Crispy's map. They still have gardens, but they don't have any width away from there. So the only route into soft cap is the red zone garrison.
Down there, they're fucking zeroing in on us, mate.
Or hump.
Yeah, copy.
2 tanks showing on flare for Crispy here as the 11th making their play.
I mean, if you're not getting the people in the OPs, then you need to start using the tools you have, and the 3 arty guns are the best tool you have to flip this. 3-3 cap pressure. Yeah, this is looking.
I'm curious if that's what they reinforce or not too, though.
We can see actually here. Looks like Bear here is pushing, just YOLOing to the point. Again, low health with this Panther.
I'd like to see how he's doing in terms of
We're hitting
combat
hard,
score or
we're
whatever,
just
because
prepared.
he has been in this for a long time.
Hey, he said we gotta
They
keep
seem
moving.
like they're probably gonna park the bus, as everyone has said now, with only like two squads attacking cattle, which I think is probably the right call. I mean, there's what, less than like 20 minutes to go? Basically 20 minutes to go in this game.
We need
So
repairs.
like,
We need repairs.
you really can't risk overextending the cattle sheds, which, fair play to them, they haven't yet.
Yeah, when you say, basically 20 minutes, for the viewers out there, might have stumbled upon the stream, newer to Hell Let Loose. First of all, welcome. This is,
bro, we have a tank
competitive
directly to
Hell
our
Let
left.
Loose. But second, with Warfare, you don't have the traditional overtime mode that
we
you
have a
have
fucking
with
tank
the
on
offensive
attack.
game mode. So
100
with it
meters away.
taking 2 minutes to capture the point, regardless of how much people you have on it, you
Actually,
won't be
ping
able
20. Come on,
to
we
win
gotta
the
go.
game if you
fucking
don't have midpoint
Garth is
with
full
less
send
than
that
2
fucker
minutes
right now,
remaining.
fourth
So
gear.
8th just needing to hold on here for another 18 minutes to crown themselves the silver champions.
And the
Garth get
8th
him?
don't
Oh.
need to take any
Ask
risks.
Garth if that tank's still up over
Just to
there.
echo what you said a minute or 2 ago. Keeping them little probing squads on cattle sheds to make 11th think twice about throwing everything at it, but really there's nothing 8th need to do apart from maintain these Garys on the map edge and keep fighting these boys in the southeast.
Yeah,
And as
sorry to interrupt you there, Wick, but we're seeing with Warpigs here back on defense for the 11th, some pressure with those cursory squads. Seems like 11th is committing a lot of people to attack and letting this small 8th offense do a little work.
yeah, cattle sheds is being capped. They lost their on-point Gary. Like, it's not looking good. They are defending, but I think that's just a few guys from the 8th that are attacking. 11th does have a red zone Gary that's snuck in C6, so
don't think
That's
it's
a
my
hell
fault.
let loose moment if I've ever seen one.
I caught someone's knife out in their hand there, Capazzo.
Yeah, it was quite a fight there. Warpig's obviously dealing with some of the ping issues that we were talking about earlier. Whips his grand shots and goes for the knife. Back with Crispy here.
Back up on the pedal shed.
Yeah, copy.
The Misty Recon.
Gary's still green for the 11th in the red zone.
How can that be?
But it's also getting to the point where 11th have to kind of almost go for broke. They don't have to do it quite yet. There's still, 18, 16 minutes till the game end, but it's getting a little dicey for them. They're gonna have to start pulling their defense
Fuck off.
to attack
No
because,
way.
like I said, this is the last game of the season for them, for each team. Both teams have played obviously incredibly well in both of this, but
Last game of the season, away can't hold anything back now.
8th, currently 76 munitions, manpower wise, sorry. So, depending on how much pressure gets put on here, they don't have any room for a reinforce. So
Well, we're not the
they
stars
probably
of the
have
show,
one
but
for the
we're
rest of the
playing on
game,
rock and roll.
and that's gonna have to be a very if they have to use that reinforce, it's gonna be at the very tactical reinforce, because without nodes, without manpower, because it's gonna be depleting no matter what because of obviously deaths. So they probably only have one to go the rest of the game for 8th.
11 does have a garrison to the southwest that they were able to get a wave off before.
To our right.
So
11th have to have multiple guns up at the minute because they are low on the munitions side. Currently running 71 on munitions.
yeah, I think that they were pounding them when you were saying earlier when they had that close garrison up. I think they were just going 3 guns just loose on them. Some cap pressure here. I think that they have an airhead in their pocket as well.
Copy.
They're able to save the garrison on point.
Thank you. Lose defense.
Incredible. Bears TC. Sorry that this wasn't captured here, everyone. But Bears TC jumps out of the tank
If I can get
to
support
take
to
out
head to
the
me
person locking out
on my
the
defense, I can get
on
another
point
garrison up there with no supplies.
for the 8th. Just great work there.
The 8th are starting to tap cattle.
Yeah, on the garrison.
And we swap over to Warpig, see how that defense is going for the 8th. They're down to just
Like I
one
got that
OP,
last
it
one.
looks like, and that's Warpig's. Keeping an eye on that mid cap here, folks. You're not missing anything there.
Yeah, copy. Thank you.
3-2 on the 8th's defensive point. Kind of stalemate.
Yeah, copy.
Yep, we're seeing some smoke already starting to fall there. Maybe we can
Got
swap
him.
it back.
There's one in the kettle shed, the left hand.
There's a Sati on the tank. Sati on the tank, I think. I think Chewie just got
2-3
Sati on
strong
point.
But with Warpigs out of the fight right now, defense is looking pretty thin for the 11.
Well done.
They just finished repairing Bear's Panther, but Bear went down before he could hop back into it.
I think the whole, possibly, if Bears went down with the other 2 boys next to him, I think that whole crew might have just got rinsed, possibly.
No, on point Gary had dug out, just 2-3 OPs. It's gonna be a close one, I think.
Yeah.
15 minutes left.
And from what I'm seeing from Jack's map for the 8th is that they still have a pretty solid offensive, like, committed as well. Like, with now 13 minutes left, I certainly,
copy.
even if my squad leader didn't tell me to do it, or even if command chat wasn't telling me to do it, I'm staying
Come
very
around the back
close
here,
to
come around the
point
back,
at this
come around the
point.
back here.
Yep, just keep me up.
Yeah, honestly, the only people that should be in the red for 8th
down.
is probably Recon, maybe the silence that already pressure, and maybe just one more
the barrel.
attacking squad just to keep poking and prodding,
On the fuel tank on the left.
making possibly having 11th reset.
No, it's not. It's right
The
here.
last thing you want to do is be 3/4 caps with under 15 minutes to go and having the full reset.
Guard the tank.
That's the 11th.
Help us, Poopy.
Kind of in that situation.
Fuck, already
Lots
got
of
me,
people
of course.
dead here. We'll swap back over to Warpigs on defense. His OP is the one OP that
still losing.
together. Still has one room in his squad.
My house for defense
That's a
come back.
lot of people from the 8th that are on
Goodness.
cattle.
Yeah, just to show everyone what he's talking about here really briefly.
Alright,
Tons
I'm going
of enemy infantry
There's a tank
on,
there waiting.
that'll pretty much end
he's
it
just
if
lying.
they're able to capture.
Just lying on them.
Swap back to Jack. Sorry for the jumping around here, folks. Lots going on. Jack just applying some soft cap pressure from the southwest.
Reinforcers down for 11.
Looking good, boys.
Warpigs is out of the fight right now.
Afterwards.
I don't think there's anybody in hard cap for on cattle. They don't have a pocket bombing run or anything.
Sounds good. I'm gonna start collapsing on point. How
Jack
we
putting
looking?
some pressure on. We could go back to Warpig, take a look at his map. Just some far, not off-point garrisons rather for the 11th. I don't even know if he'll be able to get in with this
Yeah,
wave.
I'm going on to the Gary now.
17 seconds. Feeling pretty good if you're the 8th right now.
And there's no Garys for barn, by the way. So if they start capping barn right away, it
I'll
might
spawn.
be GG.
That's gone.
From what I
That's
can
don't
see,
think
it
that's-
does not have
Yeah, Echo's 200 meters away.
Nope.
all up.
They're starting to cap.
5-0 in
Soft
white.
cap.
Team kill, love to see it.
Bears moving up in the tank. We're having some buffering issues here with Jack. We'll swap over to Bear here in the tank as they
Bro,
push
can
up
you
to
imagine if we get this 5-0 in the last 12
next
minutes?
point? But if you're feeling really good here, if you're the 8th with 12 minutes left, knowing that it's going to take at least 4 minutes for the 11th.
Bro, I
now
almost want to go
win this
infantry
game.
right now.
Are they running from HQ? I can't really
I don't know.
tell what's
Yeah, they
happening.
have
Yep.
to.
Yeah, that one garrison that they did have went down.
Bro,
It was
we're
getting
capping.
farmed by
They
an
lost
8th
all their
as
Garys.
As
I
Warpigs
guarantee
spawned
they
on
lost
there. That
all
was their
their
best
Garys,
chance to catch it.
They now have a Gary on the red blue, so if they got time to get a spawn wave off that, minute and a half to cap, 40-second spawn
We don't
wave,
have the Gary now,
they
we
should
don't have
hopefully
Gary.
control this.
We need some more
We're
Garys.
getting into soft cap now.
Seeing Jack being smart as well, swapping squads to get himself on the sector
Oh,
as soon
bro.
as possible.
If we all redeployed on fucking
Using 11th here, using a half track on the corner of the red blue to maybe try and flip it. It looks like they're still going to go for it,
Yeah.
which is probably the right call.
take that.
Do they have enough time though? Heavy tank
We need at least
surging in
one
from
more
the
kill. We gotta
west
crack
side
that
towards
one.
cattle sheds. They're throwing a Hail Mary at this, I think, here.
They have to. Like 6 minutes, 8 minutes to go.
Last game
Yeah.
of the
Just
season,
flood
away
the
can't
soft
hold
cap.
back now.
Garth
Yeah,
just
flood the soft cap with that half track. I'd even be inclined to pull that half track further up to get on the third point.
Yeah, just put in the gardens area. But
Gary,
In
Why-
between the two zones.
does 11th have a what?
What's the time on it?
They have a medium
11
tank,
minutes?
like south in AA network.
I
What is
thought you meant
going
the game.
not enough
Oh,
time
yeah.
for you, buddy.
Maybe Ace already is giving them trouble. Maybe that.
I mean, they also have a recon tank down there too.
Damn.
I think I got the
There's
guy
t-
that
I'm
got
They're
it.
very
still in the
curious
front of,
of
cattle.
why that is, but I'm just gonna move on from that.
Perhaps
That
want
could
to
be the
ask him.
saving grace, though, having a medium tank, which I think might have just died.
Hey, cattle sheds like a freight train, boys. Just go.
Never mind. I retract my statement.
Yeah, but 8th has really established themselves now in cattle sheds. At least 6 OPs in the soft cap, 4 OPs very close to the hard cap. And now pressure starting on the final point. Maybe we swap over to Warbeard. Doing his defensive duties on the barn. The manpower imbalance with 11th knowing that they need to capture 6 points now. Obviously
Always
and
behind me.
naturally
What the
committing
fuck?
to the offensive side of things.
any idea where he went?
after this match, we'll plan on being joined by Crispy with the 11th, as well as Snow with the 8th, who is their commander. So be sure to stick around after the match for some chatting around with them and see how they thought this match went from their perspectives.
Yeah,
props to 8th on the setup there for cattle sheds. They've moved 6 garrisons up there really quickly in a nice nice wide coverage layout there, covering all the sectors of the soft cap. So I don't see a way for 11th to take this one back here.
Fucking heavy that we were up in 30 minutes.
Yeah, certainly not going to be an easy time for them.
Bro.
11th are fighting for their life, trying to contest back on the last point here as well, and 8th are only getting closer into that area.
And now Jack inside of the bunker here on the last
Oh, there's
point.
fucking mines.
Goes down to an AP mine.
Who would have?
Yep, I know that feeling all too well.
That's for sure.
Probably one of the most frustrating ways to die is to an AP mine, in my opinion. That's just me, though.
If we cut here to
We're not gonna get back in time, I don't think.
Looking dire here for the 11th. No spawns nearby. HQ locked out. 1 OP.
If you can get a truck, we'll just drive.
I mean, they have to do this. I mean, they are,
Not matter. 4-1. 5-0. 3-2.
Fuck it.
Need to get
They're on
back
8. They're at HQ holding it.
I mean, this game I feel like is a microcosm of a lot of the trends that we've seen in Season 3. You know, having played in this league since, you know, the trial season.
How do you get out?
I've never seen so many 3-2 results in one season of play. I think everyone is content and is aware that the third point's all that matters. You're seeing teams build entire strategies around making sure that they capture the third point first. And you're seeing teams content just to play great defense for 90 minutes. So, you know, as we wind down here and the 8th looks to be securing this one, I think that's a trend that you'll see continue in Season 4.
Yep. It looks like 8th are going to be the Silver Bracket champions. Congrats to them. Also, congrats to the 11th as well for honestly a fun match from both teams. I think both teams played pretty well. I mean, slip-ups from both teams at moments, but obviously 8th held it down for, I didn't even see like the final time, but well played from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd echo those thoughts. I don't think anyone can say that the 11th didn't go for it after not winning the middle cap, which tends to be the decider for the game anyway. Just looking at their attack and defensive scores, 11th totally threw everything in there, and we've seen ebbs and flows of the game as well, between the 8th, you know, having good control from mid-cap and getting good pressure on, 11th getting real good periods in the game there, maybe 30 minutes or so of being in it, and then just both teams debating that risk and reward of when to send it, and turns out that the 8th flipped it at the right time. Close match, good match, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, me as well. And as we were talking, we're joined now by Snow and of the 8th and Crispy of the 11th. Boys, fantastic match. Really just exciting from the very beginning, with that midpoint being contested for as long as it was. Crispy, you know, thank you again for streaming this match. And anyone listening, check out the Lads Let Loose, which Crispy is one of the members there. Crispy, awesome work. You were a demon taking out all those outposts all game, spawning on those risky Garys and getting some flares up. Obviously not your preferred result here, but why don't you tell us about the match and how it went from your side?
Oh, mate, thank you very much. What a match, and congratulations to 8th. They were obviously the better side today, and fully deserved winners. But mate, what a tough game. It was just that battle of for mid. I didn't think anyone was going to cap it at one point. But yeah, I think early on, the 8th were able to hold a front line. A couple of times our recon went up, and they had a really good spread across that front line, really, really wide, and our offensive squads really struggled to sort of push through there. And obviously, maintain and establish frontline garrisons, and I think that's what allowed them to maintain that pressure. A couple of times we were able to get on point and get the flares up, and I thought we were going to get it when we had those double red garrisons up at one point, but those tanks came in and just sat there, and honestly, it was a really great game, and the 8th defended incredibly. So yeah, well done, Snow. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just to speak to a little bit what you said, Crispy, there, we noticed that as well, where, a lot of your successful pushes and your opportunities came from those flank garrisons that you were able to put up because of the weather conditions being so dark and so foggy. So 2 or 3 really, really great opportunities you guys had. And, we were talking about 8th Armor, and I guess I'll leave this one to you, Snow. When you see a match like that as the commander and, the one doling out these tanks, and the fog is a factor that it's been, what do you do as a commander? Are you giving out less tanks? Are you going smaller? Are you saying just play defense? What goes through your mind?
Just really play defense. I mean, we kind of should have done what they did. There was one opportunity, or one specific instance, where there was a recon tank that took out 4 of our garrisons at once, and oh my god, it was frustrating. Thank God y'all didn't have a listen ear to command chat tonight, but it was oh my god, we were getting more defensively, and you guys were getting more aggressive, and we were trying to, dude. I mean, it was a nightmare with the armor, especially like every 5 seconds, armor coming down the road. I mean, we couldn't see it, so we couldn't get pings. We couldn't see shit. It was fucking mad annoying.
Yeah,
we knew that going into the game. Yeah, we knew going into the game it would be easier to hide our garrisons though with the fog. So I mean, it's kind of a balancing act. Your garrisons will stay up live longer with the fog, but
we saw with Bear, it was about 35 to 55 meters of visibility that they had out that tank gun. So definitely felt for them. Away come. You got anything you want to talk about with Crispy or Snow?
If I could possibly ask Crispy just to touch on some aspects of the 11th game. When you initially started the match, you guys went for a nice wide spread over the map, trying to go for width across of it. Do you think just as we touched on there, do you think that the conditions of the map, it being night time and the fog, maybe hampered that approach? And do you think it would have been better to condense more?
Yeah, look, it was hard for me to say, to be honest. I don't know if you guys picked up on the stream, but for the first half an hour of that game, my red chat for some reason just wasn't working. I couldn't hear or speak at all. So I only had green and white and party chat that I was in. So it was difficult to hear what was going on in command chat there. But yeah, obviously my sort of sole focus there was really sort of just heading to RE and getting that OP up. But I do think, the way that the 8th managed to spread out and push in kind of unison up that front line, there was one point where that recon plane went up, and you could just see this perfect line of just all the 8th infantry just pushing up together across the entire map almost. And I think that really damaged us in terms of those frontline garrisons.
Could you not hear red chat, or you couldn't? I guess it was all down to you at all.
I couldn't hear or speak in red chat whatsoever.
Kind of nullifies my final question for the 11th then. I mean, we've seen you doing some real work in the back lines, taking down the nodes and going for the resources and trying to nip the 8th in the bud that way. But I was just going to ask in red chat, what would it have been for the 11th at that point? How did you think you were going to take that 3rd point back? What was the approach there? But if you couldn't hear red chat, then I'm not too certain.
Fortunately, I was able to get back in after about half an hour. Our idea was really just to kind of mess with the 8's economy. So that's when I sort of made the move to go back and try and find their nodes. And I think we got 2 sets down And I think the third set, I'm not sure. I think the other recon team might have got the third set down. So yeah, our idea there was to really kind of, slow down the artillery, slow down their armor that they were sending up. But I think they'd managed, by the time we sort of got into that game plan, I think they'd managed to build up quite a bit of fuel, and they were able to get a fair few tanks in. So I think, in hindsight, we probably should have gone for the nodes a lot earlier. Hopefully, I think it definitely slowed them down and it silenced the arty for a little while and allowed us to sort of get that big push into the midpoint there on dugout.
Well done tonight. No one can say that you guys didn't go for it. So commiserations to you guys for not taking the W. But I think you put on a real good display. So if you want to feed that back to the guys, looking forward to seeing you guys next season.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it.
Crispy, when I saw this map, man, I was like, oh hell, here we go again.
Yeah, I just want to
Same
play.
map.
I just want to play one that's not a night map. It would
Foggy
just be
and day.
Yeah, it's almost like the day maps don't exist anymore.
No, especially when you're playing good games.
I just have like one question. It's kind of for both. I kind of touched on it. Between dugout and cattle sheds, there is that garden area that was recently also opened up, so it's a lot more fluid through there. What was kind of like the thought process of controlling that from like both sides? Because that, in my opinion, was the most important area to control, and it looked like 8th had it for the majority of the game. There were times where it was shut down. There was times where 11th had it, and then it was like lost, or it was just kind of going back and forth. What was kind of like, was there like comms about controlling that after mid cap was captured by 8th? Like, what was it kind of going through everyone's heads at that point?
I'll let you answer first, Crispy.
Obviously that garden area was key. I think we tried to get a couple of garrisons up there, and the 8th were pushing through quite consistently. We couldn't work out why the garrison was locked out so often, and they were actually building their OPs on the other end of the garden. So they were spawning, we were spawning, and there was a big kind of chess match, I guess, over that garden area. But I definitely think that had a huge impact in controlling that between the dugout and cattle sheds. Obviously the 8th, full credit to them, they were able to control that. There was some good battles going on there, and I think it swayed a couple of times, but in the end the 8th were too strong and able to push through there.
Yeah, we study the maps 3 times a week and between our scrims, and we always seem to turn to this map. We go over the points and stuff like that when we sit down with all 50 of us and watch. That garden is vital, and then it also could be said the church. Obviously, that wasn't a point this time, but that garden area is super vital. There ain't many avenues to attack that point. So that garden is a must to capture. So you could see a lot of times we were kind of sacrificing our backline garrisons to keep that wall up. And that wall was built on the basis of that garden, keeping that garden. I mean, we didn't care if we just had it right outside the wall. We had to have something there to try to keep it up.
I think that was really evident from watching Snow, seeing you guys, using that edge of map for protection, and then you got yourself enough distance from your hard cap to the red-blue line, and there's maybe 20 or 30 minutes where you guys had total control there and nullified any 11th attempts to encroach in there. As I say, it ebbed and flowed, and sometimes you lost it, but eventually you guys got it back. Just for yous in the 8th, did you, once you guys capped mid and reset or set up quickly enough with your garrison network, did you guys have any eyes to keep pushing up the map in terms of attack, or were you just happy to kind of cruise at 3-2 and just read the game as it played out?
No, sir. We've learned the hard way in chatting through PC teams like ESPT and certain teams like that. The meta of the game now is really get set up, get your lines established, get your outposts established, creating that wall like I mentioned earlier, and kind of choking off. Instead of defending inward, defend outward. Force them to make that 800-meter flank around you. Obviously, there was times where that failed tonight, but that's the mindset, at least. Yeah, that's the plan. How plans go. So we're very happy with sitting for a 3-2 win and taking mid and holding and keeping full map control than we would be to overextend ourselves and push. But when we see an opportunity come up, like them sending their armor up, or we see an airhead or something like that, we will jump on it.
Yeah, that in my experience as well, keeping that front line is a lot harder when you're having the fog, as where they can sneak around you a lot easier than on a clear day where you have that visibility to see 100 meters to your flank, 200 meters to your flank. So definitely understand the difficulty on a map that like you were given today. So boys, I just want to thank you guys again for showing us an amazing game here, for joining us here. Snow, congratulations to you in the 8th. Incredible season, coming in for a team who dropped out and making the playoffs and then taking it all home. Crispy, 11th. You guys make it into the silver playoffs as a 4 seed, beat some incredible playoff opponents, and put on an incredible game with some odds stacked against you in terms of ping. So thank you, boys, again, and congratulations on an amazing season.
Thanks, mate. I just want to say as well before we head off, thanks to you guys as well for streaming as well. I know it's a stressful process getting everybody set up, and there's a lot of work that goes into it that people don't see behind the scenes. So thanks, Caparzo, and thanks to the rest of the boys that helped you stream tonight. We really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to watching it back despite the result.
For sure, we'll get it
all the
uploaded.
best, Crispy. Congratulations,
Yeah, yeah, thank you guys very much. I wish everything would stream. You guys did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Alrighty, so Awake, Hump, any last notes here as we wrap up the stream?
Hump, you can go first. Oh, okay,
no,
never mind.
not for me. We covered quite a lot there. Yeah, game 85 of TPL Season 3. Been a blast so far. We got a couple more games to go, so hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, kind of just echoing what Hump just said. A lot of good games that were played this season. Still 3 more to go. Can't wait to wrap up the season in the next few days and weeks. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be some really good games going on.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a perfect segue to a little announcement. We will be featuring the gold final on Sunday here. Announcement to be posted later this weekend, which will be Hump and Merc versus HLLE. So another incredible match just on the horizon for everyone, and we hope you're joined with us for that one. I want to thank all of our streamers again. This is not possible without you at all, so thank you all for donating some of your time and effort to make that happen. And again, thanks to the teams, the viewers, and all you clan members out there. So until Sunday, this is Caparzo with the People's League, joined by Hump and Awake, and we'll see you then. Take care, everyone.